Hello everyone and welcome to our Cargill Confectionery Series. My name is Coco Joe and the topic of this video is caramel apples. We'll discuss the entire process from preparation of the apples all the way to final decoration. So let's dive in starting with the apples. The type of apple you use is up to you, but we do find that the most popular apple is the Granny Smith. It could be because it's a nice acidic or sour apple a little bit, and that really complements the sweet and milky flavor of the caramel. But any type or variety of apple can be used. The first step is to wash your apples. And if they have come with wax, you'll want to scrub all that wax off, because that may keep your caramel from adhering and you may have the caramel slump off the apple over time before it gets eaten. So a good scrubbing of the apple and then completely drying them is a great first step. The next step is to insert a stick, and these sticks come in this paper form, or wooden sticks can certainly be used. Do you stick the apple in the top or the bottom? That's up to you. There's no right way. Most people start with it into the top and it can just be stuck in. However, if you have a lot of apples to do, this tool is very handy. It's a spring-loaded apple sticking machine. So the stick simply goes in. This apple I'll insert into the bottom so you can see the difference. Push down. And if you have many to do, this will definitely speed it up. Our apples are washed and the sticks are in, so we're ready to dip. I've already pre-melted the caramel. I'm using a glass container, and our working temperature for dipping caramel apples depends on your caramel recipe. For our Peter's caramel, a range of 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit is a great range for dipping the caramel apples. If you would like instructions on melting the caramel, refer to our caramel video. You can find that in the links. If you simply want to dip the apple in caramel, we recommend going all the way to the stick. That will seal the top where the stick has been inserted, and then it can be placed on the tray. If you were to place it right now, you might get a foot of caramel on the bottom, and so wiping either with a spatula or on the edge of your container to just tease away a little bit of that extra caramel. That way you won't have a puddle on the bottom. And I probably didn't tease away quite enough. At room temperature, 20 to 30 minutes or so is a good amount of time where this should be ready if you want to continue decorating. You can speed that process up in the refrigerator. I wouldn't leave it in a 35-degree refrigerator for more than 10 or 15 minutes. You want to avoid getting condensation on the outside of the apple. If you'd like to apply nuts or some other inclusions to the outside of the caramel, you'll want to roll it while the caramel is still hot. Another way to take the extra caramel off is to spin the apple. And then I'll wipe. And I'll work pretty quickly to roll in the nuts. And make sure you cover the bottom. When you're done dipping your apples, this caramel can certainly be reused. We recommend allowing it to cool and either finding a cover for your container or putting it in a separate sealed container. Caramel has a very long shelf life and can be reused, so you wouldn't have to waste any of the caramel left over. Our caramel apples are cooled and ready to eat, but of course I'd like to add some chocolate, and there are plenty of other ways to further elaborate and decorate your caramel apples. So I've got tempered dark chocolate, and one just simple way is to take a cooled caramel apple and add some dark chocolate. Similar to when we applied the caramel, a little spinning will remove extra chocolate, scrape the excess off the bottom. Now the same thing could be done, but you could add the nuts to outside of the caramel or other inclusions for a very deluxe apple. If you don't want so much chocolate, although I think everybody does, you could just drizzle chocolate. I'll just use my spatula. Something along those lines. One of my favorites, instead of using chocolate, is using white confectionery coating. I'll take a plain caramel apple, dip it in white confectionery coating, and while the coating is still wet, roll it in cinnamon sugar. That's a delicious combination along the lines of an apple pie. You're only limited to your imagination on the additions that you can do to your caramel apples. How long do they last? I am frequently asked the shelf life of caramel apples, and it's typically just 1 to 2 weeks before you'll start to see, especially around where the stick is inserted, maybe the apple is starting to turn brown. You could refrigerate them for a longer shelf life and you may end up with an extra few days or another week, but it's typically just a few weeks. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more videos in our Cargill Confectionery Series. I'm Coco Joe. Have a sweet day.